Mike Francis, there's some updates, 911 calls. You guys have been sending me these videos, and we got 2 of them just right off the bat. So, y'all, not my cup of tea. Make sure you go follow her, subscribe to her channel. She's pinned in the description. All right? She's pinned in the description. Let's just jump right into it, y'all. I'm shrinking myself down. Here we go.
Wow. Just wow. These new Mica Miller Francis 911 calls. Let me explain my title before we begin breaking down some of the things that she brought up in these 911 calls. I say infuriating because it is infuriating hearing everything that John Paul Miller is capable of, everything that he has already done to her, both physical and mental. It's infuriating. It's also at the same time oddly satisfying hearing Mica so clear, so concise. Even the wording that she used, I was impressed with. She is a very smart, educated woman, even under what I would call mental distress, where she was in the hospital from an anxiety attack or feeling like he was going to take possession and he was impersonating her. She was very calm. She was very clear. She stuck to the point. She said the reasons why. She did an awesome job on these calls. So that was satisfying hearing Mica and knowing how intelligent this woman was. But I don't want to delay it too much. The only other thing that I want to say is good job for Mica's father being there, being a supportive father. Even when she is a grown woman, he is right there with her, allowing her to use his phone, take her where she needs to go to meet the police. So good job, Dad. But let's get right into these 911 calls.
I need an immediate pickup, not the 72-hour pickup that a spouse can initiate.
So right off the bat, we see that she states exactly what she needs from the police. She seems to know a little bit about the system because she also says that she does not want the 72-hour. So she is very concise.
I need this to be a little quicker because he is a flight risk.
Which we all know this to be true because he has access to the private plane.
Domestic violence. He put his hands on me. And when he put his hands on you? Yeah, he tried to front punch me, but thankfully I was standing up, so he made contact, but it didn't knock the wind out of me like it should have.
Did she say he throat punched me? Oh, dear Lord.
He pushed me down in front of thousands of people at Disney World, and so, yeah, and his best friend even saw that happen. He slapped drinks right out of my hands.
So now we hear the physical mistreatment from Mica herself. And first of all, for a man to even put hands on a woman, first of all. Second of all...
Hell no. Hell no. You don't know how I feel about that. Oh, man. Nope. I'm from Texas. We don't...
John Paul Miller was doing this in front of crowds of thousands at a Disney park. He was doing this in front of his best friend. The audacity of this man, it's infuriating.
I was in the hospital after that from just a panic attack of what was happening.
A panic attack. So this sounds very different from the paranoid, schizophrenic, mental break, bipolar situation John Paul Miller was saying.
And when I got out, he was impersonating my identity with the phone that he had in his hands. I didn't even have my phone or anything, and he's texting everybody. He hacked my social media.
So John Paul Miller has her phone. He is impersonating her, and he has hacked her social media accounts. This tells us a lot. First of all, we already knew he was very controlling. This is a tactic that narcissists love to do, where they can try to dig up any kind of information, any kind of dirt on you, anything that they can manipulate and use against you as a mudslinging tactic.
And he's got guns in the home and
So he has weapons available,
intimidation in the past.
using these weapons to intimidate her.
I believe at this point, based on the people that he's come in contact with, some of them reported to me that based on how he was talking, they feared he had buried me somewhere.
You guys, how eerie is it to hear her say this? Wow.
This is her dad, and she's having to use my phone because he took her phone.
So now we hear Mica's father speak. He was there, having her back, being supportive, allowing Mica to talk, not trying to cut her off. He sounds also calm. So good job, Dad.
He has possession of her car, her purse, all her valuables.
Guns that were bought in my name that I feared he was going to use and then say it was in my name.
So this clip gives us a lot of information. First off, she's afraid of John Paul Miller framing her, which is basically what she's saying, that he has access to her possessions and it's in her name, and she's fearful of what he will do with her name attached to the situation. Secondly,
dang, did y'all know all this?
Mica already had weapons. She was familiar with them. And I wonder if she ever got them back from this situation. And maybe that's why she was at the pawn shop trying to get access to another one, because she already had some.
He's got my CWP license, he's got my public notary license, and my seal and my stamp, which he's been trying to force me to sign a post-nup for the last year and a half, and I fear that he's going to use my seal to impersonate my signature like he's been impersonating my identity for the past 3 days.
Oh, Lord.
Signed that post-nup saying that I get nothing if we divorce. And that's not even my biggest concern. It's the identity theft. I don't care about not getting anything from the divorce. I really don't care.
Again, she is giving examples of how John Paul Miller could frame the situation.
Oh, my word.
To his advantage. And this sounds very different from what John Paul Miller was saying as far as extortion. It doesn't sound like an extortion situation to.
And another reason I feel like it's so urgent is because he's very hyperactive right now. He's causing a lot of damage very quickly.
So Mica is basically letting us know that at this point, John Paul Miller is out of control. And the whole time that John Paul Miller was describing what was going on in Mica's mental state, he was describing himself. He was the one that when he came off medications, he was out of control. And we've seen this with him in interviews while he was talking time and time again, but we have never seen this side of Mica. She is always calm and collected. Now, I'm sure she got upset. I'm sure she got mad. But she was able to keep her composure even when she's in the hospital, even when she's under mental distress.
And his son is a felon who's been living in my house after I left.
In this situation, the apple certainly does not fall far from the magnolia tree.
So the whole family, I'm very scared for what they'll do to my family, the church. He's a pastor. And especially me and my life.
So this clip is letting us know that John Paul Miller has people around him willing to do dirty things just like he does dirty things. It is also letting us know that Mica, even in this time where she's going through all this, she is still thinking about other people.
How old is he? He is 44 and a half.
I love this little clip, 44 and a half. She is so concise. I just love it.
He's 6'2".
Was anybody else surprised about the 6'2" like I was?
And his son, who's a felon, was following me around town in his coastal painting, his business he owns. His truck is decked out. He even rolled the window down because I rolled the window down, and he was following me. Okay.
Whoa.
And his son, like I said, has had 3 domestic violence arrests in the last 3 months.
Oh my God.
How scary is this for Mica? she is not only having to deal with her, what sounds like a psycho husband, but she has to also deal with his son that acts just like him, that looks just like him, that is capable of doing horrible things just like him. That is so scary.
I have that call in and officer be dispatched as soon as possible, okay? Okay, thanks. We'll be waiting. We're here.
So there we have it. That was a lot to digest. That was some of my thoughts and opinions about this particular 911 call. What do you guys think about this?